Rain poured down like the sky was trying to erase the city's sins. Ayan Malik tightened his grip on the steering wheel, staring at the glowing office tower of Malik and Crown Holdings. It was almost midnight. His 6-year-old daughter, Hira, was asleep at home with the neighbor he barely trusted but had no other choice. Being a single dad meant balancing guilt with survival. He was just about to start the engine when his phone buzzed. Ayan, are you still downstairs? It was her, Zara Rahman, his boss, billionaire heiress, the woman who terrified board members with a single look. But right now, her voice trembled. I'm in the lobby, he replied. There was silence. Then, I need help. He rushed inside. The lobby doors slid open and there she was, Zara Rahman. No sharp suit, no powerful posture. Her makeup slightly smudged. Her heels in her hand. Her steps unstable. She had never looked more human. Ayan, she whispered, almost embarrassed. I shouldn't have gone. He understood instantly. The investors' dinner. The powerful foreign delegate. The strategic relationship the board was pushing her toward. But instead of partnership, there had been humiliation. Too many drinks. Too many hands lingering too long. Too many men thinking a powerful woman was still something to conquer. I've got you, Ayan said quietly. No judgment. No questions. He took off his jacket and wrapped it around her shoulders. As they walked to the car, paparazzi flashed from across the street. Click, click, click. Zara froze. If those photos went public, headlines would destroy her reputation by morning. Head down, Ayan said calmly. He opened the passenger door, shielding her with his body. One photographer stepped closer. Ma'am, were you rejected tonight? Is the merger off? Before Zara could react, Ayan stepped forward. That's enough, he said, his voice firm but controlled. Back up. Something in his eyes made them hesitate. He wasn't rich. He wasn't powerful. But he wasn't afraid. He drove her home, not to the penthouse, but to her private villa outside the city. Inside, Zara stumbled slightly. Careful, he murmured, steadying her. Respectfully, keeping distance. She looked at him through blurred vision. Why are you like this? She asked softly. Like what? Decent. He didn't answer. Instead, he helped her sit on the couch and placed a glass of water in her hand. You should rest. She caught his wrist before he could step back. They were laughing at me tonight, she whispered. They think I can't run this company without marrying into power. Ayan's jaw tightened. You built this empire after your father passed, he said. You don't need anyone to validate that. Her eyes shimmered, not from alcohol this time, from emotion. Stay, she said suddenly. He hesitated. His daughter's face flashed in his mind. His responsibilities. His boundaries. I'll stay until you fall asleep, he replied. Hours later, Zara finally drifted off on the couch. Ayan covered her with a blanket. Then he quietly picked up the broken glass near the entrance, cleaned the living room and turned off the lights. Before leaving, he paused. She looked peaceful, vulnerable, human, and he walked away. At 7:12 a.m., Ayan was making Hira's lunch when his phone buzzed nonstop. He frowned. 23 missed calls. Office group chat exploding. News notifications. He opened one headline and his stomach dropped. CEO Zara Rahman spotted drunk with male employee. Scandal inside Malik and Crown? The paparazzi photos. But what shocked him wasn't the story. It was the angle. Every photo showed him shielding her, protecting her, blocking cameras, escorting her safely. The narrative wasn't scandalous. It was honorable. Still, the board would twist it. His phone rang again. Zara. His heart pounded. He answered, "Mom." "Come to the office," she said. Her voice was steady, different from last night, cold, composed, CEO mode. When Ayan entered the boardroom, every executive was seated. Zara stood at the head of the table, powerful, elegant, untouchable, as if last night had never happened. One board member cleared his throat. "This situation is inappropriate. A personal driver accompanying the CEO late at night." "He's not my driver," Zara interrupted sharply. Silence. Ayan blinked. Zara looked directly at the board. "He's head of international logistics. And last night, while you were all at home protecting your reputations, he protected mine." The room stiffened. "He showed integrity," she continued. "Something this board claims to value." Another director scoffed. "With respect, this kind of public appearance damages credibility." Zara walked to the screen and clicked a remote. The paparazzi footage played. Zoomed in. Clear. Ayan stepping between her and the cameras. Ayan refusing to exploit the moment. Ayan keeping distance. Professional. Respectful. The room fell silent. "This," Zara said calmly, "is the man you're questioning." Then she did something no one expected. As of today, Ayan Malik is promoted to Executive Director of Operations. The room exploded in whispers. Ayan's breath caught. "Mom." She raised a hand gently. "You've protected this company more times than anyone knows. Last night was just visible." One board member protested. "You can't make emotional decisions." Zara smiled slightly. "This isn't emotional." She placed a file on the table. "While at dinner last night, the delegate attempted to alter contract terms illegally. I recorded the conversation." Gasped. "The merger is cancelled. We don't need corrupt alliances." She looked at Ayan. "We need loyalty." After the meeting, Ayan stood outside her office, stunned. She stepped out. No board. No cameras. Just Zara. "You didn't have to do that," he said quietly. "Yes, I did," she replied. Then she added softly, "My father used to say, watch how a man behaves when no one is rewarding him." Her eyes met his. "You thought no one was watching." He swallowed. "I was just doing my job." "No," she said gently. "You were protecting me as a person." There was a long silence. Not awkward, heavy, meaningful. Then she said something that changed everything. "I want you by my side, not because of last night, because I trust you." Professional trust. But something deeper lingered beneath the words. That evening, when Ayan picked up Hira from school, he felt something unfamiliar. Hope. Not for money, not for status, but for a future where integrity mattered, where protecting someone didn't go unnoticed. And in her penthouse office, Zara looked at the city skyline and whispered to herself, "Finally, someone who didn't want something from me." The attack came 3 days later, not with noise, not with threats, but with numbers. At exactly 9 a.m., shares of Malik and Crown Holdings began to fall. 5%, 8%, 12%. Ayan stood in the operations room, eyes locked on the red graph sliding downward like a bleeding wound. "Who's selling?" he asked sharply. The analyst swallowed. "It's coordinated. Multiple shell accounts. Someone's trying to trigger panic." Across the city, in her glass office, Zara Rahman already knew who it was. The rejected investor. The same man who had tried to manipulate her at dinner. The same man whose proposal she had publicly rejected. Armin Qureshi. And he wasn't used to hearing the word no. Her phone rang. Private number. She answered calmly. "You made a mistake," came Armin's smooth voice. You embarrassed me. You tried to corner me, Zara replied evenly. You could have married into security. I prefer earning it. A low chuckle. Let's see how your board feels after today. The line went dead. Within hours, fake news articles flooded social media. CEO emotionally unstable. Internal affair rumors. Board divided over leadership. Ayan stormed into her office without knocking, something he would never have done before. We're being attacked from 3 fronts, he said. Stock manipulation, media smear, supplier pressure. Zara didn't look shaken. She looked focused. Good, she said quietly. He blinked. Good. She stood and walked toward him. They're underestimating us. For the first time, there was fire in her eyes, not defensive, not hurt. Strategic. Call emergency session, she ordered, and prepare the contingency file. Ayan froze. Contingency? He repeated. She held his gaze. You think I built this empire without preparing for war? By noon, the boardroom was packed again. This time, tension was thicker than fear. One director slammed his file shut. This is because of you canceling the merger. Zara didn't flinch. This is because we refused corruption, she corrected. Another board member snapped. Our stock is collapsing. Ayan stepped forward. Temporarily. All eyes turned to him. He clicked the remote. On screen appeared a list of diversified assets, private partnerships, offshore reserves, layers of protection no one outside executive level knew existed. You diversified the company quietly, one board member whispered. Zara nodded once. In case someone tried to strong-arm us. Then Ayan revealed the final slide. A recorded confession. Armin Qureshi's voice from the dinner. Attempting to alter contract terms illegally. Suggesting political leverage. Implying blackmail. The room fell silent. Zara's voice was calm but deadly. We send this to financial regulators and every business news network. One director gasped. That would destroy him. She met his eyes. He tried to destroy us. Ayan watched her in that moment, not just as his boss, but as a warrior. That evening, the stock rebounded. Media headlines flipped. CEO outsmarts corporate takeover. Malik and Crown exposes illegal pressure. Armin Qureshi's name began trending, but not the way he expected. In her office, the city lights reflected against the glass. Ayan stood by the window. You knew he'd retaliate, he said quietly. Yes, and you still chose to protect me that morning. She turned to him slowly. You think this was about you? He hesitated. It wasn't just about business either. The air shifted. Softer now. Quieter. You gave me something no one in that room ever did. She continued. What? Safety. Her voice wasn't CO sharp anymore. It was real. When you stood between me and those cameras, you weren't thinking about promotions, or money, or leverage. He swallowed. I was thinking about respect. Their eyes locked. Longer this time. Dangerously longer. Ayan, she said softly. Do you regret staying that night? His answer came without hesitation. No. The distance between them felt smaller. But instead of stepping closer, he stepped back. My daughter comes first, he said gently. Something flickered in her expression. Not disappointment. Understanding. I know, she replied. And I would never compete with that. Silence. Then she said something unexpected. Bring her to the company picnic this weekend. He frowned. What? I want to meet the little girl who made you the man you are. His heart tightened. No woman had ever said that before. No one had seen Hira as part of the equation. Only as baggage.